Last time on a very peculiar episode of Tea Time, Boys.
This is exactly what I wanted. I did not want to talk this time.
Friendships were tested.
Welcome to Tea Time, Boys, where Michael's just fed up with all this shit.
Kings were crowned.
I'm king of construction! I'm like, all hail to king, yo!
Marks were thrown in our Tea Time Boys' face.
I think I got like a 75 on the exam.
And a question was posed.
Biggest regret from high school.
Oh, God. Oh, jeez. That's a lot.
I don't know. High school was pretty fun.
See, this is the thing,
You guys were crazy. I just studied all the time.
I know.
So you
I
have,
didn't like party or anything in high school.
So you have like different things. So like just a little context. So Rowan and I are brothers. Aruj and I knew each other from high school, and I've known Michael since like grade 8, but we've known each other only through soccer. Just like a little context. So yeah. Aruj has known me all through high school. Michael knew me through high school, but Aruj really did because like I was, I went to class with him all the time. And
we hung out in the summers a lot too, and occasionally during the year.
Occasionally during weekends and stuff.
Yeah.
But the big thing that for me is that I wasn't, like, Aruj can attest to this to the maximum degree. I was just a shy nerd. Through and through. I was really small. I didn't really fit in. I was really socially awkward, so it didn't really work. So, like, biggest regret, there's a whole bunch of things, but I couldn't really do anything. So, like, I had, like, a few friends, but it wasn't really that much.
Yeah.
So, I guess, like, I'd love to be more out there and get in a club, but other than that, like, I'd rather just leave high school behind, It was just one of those social things that I just kind of, like...
I think that's
I bloomed more in university.
I think that's the same. I think that's literally, like, just a prototypical thing for a lot of people. It's just, like, you're literally forced to be shoved with, X number of people that, based on your area code.
Yep.
You don't have to like anybody.
I was kind of hoping for a specific thing, but alright.
Well, I mean, like, specifically, I can think of some, like, weird stuff I've done. Like, I can tell you what the number one, like, not the number one, but, like, one of the worst things I've done in university that I've regretted.
Yeah.
But high school,
yeah,
not really.
I mean,
not too much.
For context, I went to this quote-unquote alternative school when I was in grades 9 and 10. And I kind of had a falling out with it in the latter half of grade 10 because I kind of had a bit of a problem with the school as it was being run. Like, it was kind of headed by the science teacher who, wanted to disrupt school to, go to these rallies. It was some thing about, helping Africa, that kind of thing. Something that even at 15, I'm like, well, this isn't going to make any difference whatsoever, but... And the thing is, like, I agreed with it on a conceptual level, but the idea of, like, the education, like, being based around these rallies kind of, like, struck me as kind of off, and I kind of had a lot of friction with her, and I almost got expelled out because of this, and I had to move schools.
How was the educational curriculum like the rallies?
Yeah, I don't understand.
But,
No, like, how
was it based off the rallies?
Like, were they, like... 2 African children plus 4 African children.
No, like
6 dead people.
No, like we have.
Holy crap!
Dude. Damn, but
I'm kidding.
But like we'd interrupt like entire days of school to like like sort of march around in a park somewhere or some shit and. Like we did absolutely nothing in science class. Like I remember like we had some weekly stuff, but we had like no tests, no projects, no nothing in all of science. So this sort of rubbed me the wrong way and. I had to move schools because that, and you'd think that that'd be the thing that I regret, but fuck no. It was a dumbass system, and I did not much care for it, and I'm glad I got out of it. The thing I regret most about high school is in senior year, I did not go to the prom because the girl I wanted to ask told me at some point that she didn't want to go, and I regret not asking her anyway.
Aww.
Did she end up going, or did she end up not going?
She ended up not going. She was a very studious girl. Her name was Zheng Wei, I think. She was a Chinese name, and I don't know, I just really admired how studious she was, and I thought she was kind of cute, and I regret not asking her. Maybe it would have completely backfired, I don't know, but...
It's always worth a shot, I don't know.
I don't
know. It's,
It might have been nice, is all I'm saying.
I feel for you. And I feel like everyone...
Same,
I think it's one of those things that...
And I was just so dispirited by that, I just ended up not going at all.
Well, I think a lot of people, like, hold that. And I think you're going to hold that to you, where it's, like, one of those things where it's, like, it's better to, like, you could say the whole, it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. But I think the main thing you can take from that is,
Fucking
like,
Shakespeare.
it's better to,
Dipshit.
it's better to try and fail than never to try, because you're going to regret not trying way more than trying.
Like, what's the worst that
In
can
most
happen?
cases, of course. Like, it's not going to be like,
If we ever
I
do a visual
jump in
thing,
front of
just
his
flash
car.
an image of Hitler on the screen.
just like on Hitler's grave, like, at least I tried.
Brutal.
No,
I mean, in terms of asking, you know.
I totally get that. And I think, like, I've had
Work will make you free.
I've had similar, like, situations. Not like, I'm not trying to, like, belittle you, but I do understand in a lot of ways that it's one of those things where it's like, shit, I probably should have done that, you know? And and I think every single person, like, has done that. Like, I think there has been some sort of mistake. It could be huge, it could be little, but everyone's done that mistake and it holds with them. So,
on the other hand, given how
also
good I
quite
was with girls at that age, it might have been better for me to not try.
But also you learn from it, right? So it kind of it forms you in a more positive way. So even though you didn't do it, it might help you on the long run to be like, okay, wait, I understand the situation. I know what would have happened. You know yourself a little bit more now, so it makes you like a little more confident or a little more better in judgment in the future.
Well, not right away, because
not right away,
you
but
should
I'm
have
saying
seen
in
me
the
trying
long
to deal
run,
with
for
girls
sure.
in first, second year of university, because
everyone's like that.
Yeah, no, it's not
I was every bad stereotype, just all of them, even the ones that contradict with the other ones. I was that.
No, just like trust.
Jockey nerd, I'll beat you up in calculus, and then you just start beating with the calculator or something.
I don't know, like, I had a girlfriend throughout high school, but even like after we broke up, I was really bad with girls. It's not like just because you have like
You don't just level up.
Yeah, no, I wish it was like that, but
You know how lucky I got with Shayna, honestly? Like, it's one of those things where it's, like, two big things are, you know, making sure that you, like, I'd say, like, you could generalize it to, like, charm, like, how well you can talk to someone and get through that.
Compatibility, right?
Yeah, and the other half is timing. Because there's sometimes you're just going to catch someone at a bad time. Like, they could tell you to fuck off because something bad happened. Like, you don't know. So, like, there's a good part of it that's timing, and so, like, you have to know when it's your fault and when sometimes it just isn't, you know?
Oh man, have I got a timing story for you guys.
Is this like one of your several lesbians or?
No.
Several lesbians.
Several lesbians would be a great band name.
Oh man. Okay, so I was at this party. It was the same party one of my friends met his girlfriend, who he's still dating today. It was in end of second year. And I know we were like going around, we were just talking, like drinking or whatever a little bit. And I remember I had a burrito earlier that day, and it was rough, guys. Like I don't want to tell you, it was bad. I wasn't feeling too great. So, anyways, I was talking to this girl, and she was really cute. She was cool. We were chilling, and then I'm like, I needed to use the washroom, but it was one of those apartments where there were only ensuite washrooms. So and the two washrooms that were open were both like taken up by like puking people. So I'm like, okay, I know there's a washroom on top floor of this building, so I'm gonna go. So I said, I'll be right back. And she's like, I'll come with you. And I'm like, no, it's okay. And she's like, no, I'll come with you. And I'm like, no, I just need to use the washroom. And she's like, it's fine, I'll come with you. So,
oh my god.
So I'm like,
here we go, people.
Whatever you want.
Even I clued into this shit.
What? No, I knew she liked me. But.
Oh, you sweet summer child.
But I was like, okay, fine, let's go.
She wants to give you a blowjob, you idiot.
Let's go to the washroom together.
Okay, so...
Are you turned on yet?
So we go upstairs, and it's like roof of this pretty nice apartment building, and there's like a gym up there, and then there's this washroom inside of the gym. So we were like... I was trying to go in, and then she tried to follow me into the washroom, and... I'm like, no, I just need the washroom real quick. And you had no idea how bad it was, guys. This burrito was going through me like lava. It was
mucho grande,
It was mucho grande, friendo.
I'm patting a rouge in sympathy right now.
she kept like trying to kiss me or whatever, and I was like, okay, but like I really gotta take a dump right now. It's not working. But I wouldn't say that. And then she, like, I ended up like opening the door and going in, and she stepped inside with me, and I'm like, you do not want to see this right now, lady. So I was like, I really like this is not gonna work out. So
this is gonna be your single worst experience.
If this is romantic for you, I don't think we're gonna work out.
So she wouldn't leave me alone, and I really need to take a dump. You don't understand. I was like, oh god, it was gross. Anyway, so I end up like tricking her by like walking out of the bathroom, kind of like leading her, you know, and then. As soon as we're out...
I think I've done this in a Resident Evil game.
As soon as we're out, I, like, put her up against the wall and run inside the bathroom, close the door, lock it. And then, you know, I do my business.
Unleash the fury!
And I don't know whether, like, I don't know what she heard.
She's still there at the end of it.
Imagine from her perspective, it's like, this guy leads me to this washroom, and it's getting really hot, and then he just pushes me against the wall, runs inside, and starts farting. It's like, what?
Oh, he actually had to go to the washroom. It's just awkward now.
And then I ended up doing my business, coming out, and she was there, and I'm like, so how's it going? And she's like, no. and no. Like, we just go downstairs, I guess.
I'm sorry, Aruj.
She didn't even say, oh, not bad. Like, just try to play it off.
No.
I mean, at some point, you've got to just, like, be honest.
Oh my god,
It was pretty rough. And I saw her on the bus 3 days later. And she, like, looks at me. I'm like, hey, how's it going? I, like, smile, like, wave at her a bit.
Hey! Remember me? I took a shit!
Something, like,
That's my
subtle.
idea of a good time.
Something subtle, you know, just like a little wave or, like, a smile. And she's just, like, her face turns white. And she turns away and, like, looks at her phone. And just, oh, man, it was...
I love how you traumatize someone just because you had to, like...
I really had to go, man.
You just had to do... Like, it's... No one's gonna blame you for having
I mean, no one was at fault there, but...
It's just too funny.
I can tell you the story that still haunts me to this day so much. So you're
gonna put on the podcast for anybody to see. Okay.
Yeah, because it's funny. It's just one of those things where I'm like, sweet Lord, Jesus. Wow. Take the wheel.
He's calling Gary Underwood.
I've seen where those hands have gone. I'm not touching it.
So oh my god, So in first year, I met this girl because she lived right across the hall from me.
Oh, fucking Lord.
No.
So she lived right across the hall from me, and we, like, things really clicked. We were doing really well. She was in econ. I was in the same econ class, so we hung out, did projects. No.
Okay.
No. We did projects together. We chilled. It was really nice. Kind of, like, chill. I liked her, but she clearly was just kind of, like, chill with me. Like, she didn't really think of anything.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see it, but Aruj and I both have our head in our hands.
So, you know, things, you know, it's like, it's nice. And she's starting to, like, trust me more, and things are starting to go better and better. And I'm like, this is awesome. So one night, as prone to many, this is not a single occurrence, but in fact, the most in 40 years, there was a fire alarm. Because somebody pulled it, because they're an asshat. And if you pull the fire alarm, the side entrance where the RAs worked, you can get in. So they'd pull the fire alarm, have people come in, hide in their rooms, and then they could party.
I'm gonna go on a tangent here. No joke, it got so bad with the fire alarms in my place that I eventually bought, like, some construction headphones, and every time there's a fire alarm, I just grab them, put them on, and go back to sleep.
We had the most fire alarms, police calls, drunk people, and clogged toilets in 40 years.
Woo!
So
that's a record.
Yep,
yeah.
it was quite impressive.
Your year, man.
Yeah, it was. So anyway, so it was another fire alarm. I was chilling with, like, other friends, and I had gone out, and one of the famous thing at least among my friends, and especially at that time, was I wore Crocs. They were comfy. I walked around.
No, he had a thing for them, man. I was like, you're not gonna get any girls wearing those.
Only can make.
It gets better. Speaking of Crocs, so we go outside. It's pretty cold. I give everyone there are a couple girls who are wearing, like, you know, just, like, tank tops or, like, stuff like that. So I gave them, like, jackets so they, you know, because it was cold out.
You do.
Nice, man.
So I was, like, a little cold, but I was just like, oh, everyone's outside. I should see if I can try and find that girl I like. You know, just to, you know, stop a conversation. I'm a little drunk. I'm a little tipsy. I'm a little. things aren't
bamboozled.
Things aren't gonna go well for Stuart.
Right. Little souse.
So I'm quite literally running, trying to find her.
Boris Yeltsin-esque.
And my friend's like, you got this, you'll find her, it's all good, you'll find her. And then finally she was in the res next door. And I go inside and I find her and I said hi and she says hi and she's just talking to a friend. And I talk with my friends and they're like, say something witty, get some conversation going, because you're outside, like maybe talk about the fire alarm or something like that. So I walk up to her and, let me go a little bit beforehand. Right before I was walking over to her, my roommate yelled at me and said, condoms are 99% effective, Crocs are 100% effective. Right?
I love that.
So I was like, oh God, my feelings. So I walked over to her, I talked to her for a little bit. Now I'm wearing nothing but my t-shirt, jeans, and then...
I thought you were going to say wearing only your Crocs.
I was like,
Crocs. I'm like, whoa,
that's definitely
bold strategy.
Baby. So I'm wearing not socks, just my bare feet and Crocs. I'm talking to her, and I turn to her, and I say the single worst thing that I've ever said to any girl of all time. I take it off, lift it up to her.
The Croc.
I say,
The Croc.
I take off the Croc, I lift it up to her, hold it near her face. It's quite stinky.
Oh, fun.
Hold it near her face, and I'm like, you don't think Crocs are ugly, do you? Like, would you still have sex with a guy on Crocs?
Holy shit, I've struck out with worse lies with better lies than that.
So she goes like, I don't know. And I'm like, I'm just saying Crocs are pretty cool. And she just kind of looks at me and slowly turns to her friend and just starts talking with her. And I'm like, yeah. Needless to say, after that night, we stopped texting and she stopped responding to me. And
so you never worked on another project again?
No, it just kind of ended. It was like the Croc that killed her. It was one of those things. And I came back and my friend was like, ooh. Oh, dude. I could feel how awkward that was. Because she wasn't drunk at all, right? Yeah. So it was just... And I remember walking back there in my Crocs.
I've done things like that in first year.
I remember walking back and I was just like, what the fuck have I done? So, yeah, that was one of the worst things I've done.
Only Kine can pull Crocs off. This is only Kine.
Who's Kine?
The protagonist from Drakengard. He wears Crocs.
I think Crocs are really comfy.
Yes, you also haven't killed thousands of people.
They're a good alternative for house slippers.
They're not.
Cut back to a thing that Michael said a while back in a podcast. I was like, you went outside to get your shirt through Crocs. He's just like, yeah, these Crocs are pretty comfy, but you shouldn't wear them outside unless you're in some sort of town like Cleveland or something like that.
Cleveland?
Just take it out Cleveland, fuck Cleveland.
Cleveland would not be a place where I would wear Crocs. I would not wear Crocs if I was meeting with a real human being.
Replicants, it's all good.
Yeah, replicants are good.
Oh, my feelings.
That's why we have the Void Conf test, so we can see who can wear Crocs around.
Yeah, the tour test. Do you like Crocs? Yes. Kill it! Burn it with fire! A little computer with Crocs on.
Why, father?
Crocs are super popular in Japan. We saw them everywhere.
So's incest and tentacles.
Good point.
I won't take their interest.
They're just biking all over the place and they had Crocs everywhere. And flip-flops were barely found. It was mostly just Crocs and stuff.
Oh man.
Oh, I saw a bunch of deleted scenes from The Simpsons the other day, and one of them was the episode where they go to Japan.
Okay.
And when they were on the Japanese game show, and Homer asks, why are you so cruel? And they all laugh. There's a deleted scene where the host goes, repressed rage, I guess. We traded our glorious, beautiful culture for your ugly, glitzy one. Fair enough.
Oh, jeez. Oh, wow. Yeah, that'll do it, all right. Yep. I think we're near the end, so it's about time. Oh, maybe we can ask a question. So, we ask a question every episode. Michael asked one last time. I've usually asked one, so I'd like to give it out to the guests. If you want to think of a question, just a fun little thing to keep conversation or know more about yourself.
Fill 3 minutes of airtime.
And fill 3 minutes of airtime.
Or whatever, how long it's going to take. It's totally going to spill over.
What?
We usually can do about an hour 15, don't we?
Yeah. It's because what happens is something like, do you like sand? And then I say, fuck no! And you're like, that's not that
holy
bad.
Shit, sand is the absolute fucking...
Could we stop?
Talk about sand! Talk about sand!
Okay, no more sand.
No more sand talk.
Welcome to Tea Time Boys, where we talk about sand and we talk about how we completely fucking struck out in university.
Woo!
Oh, man.
Are you just as sweaty as I am?
Yep.
Yeah.
For those of you at home, oh shit, the last name deleted boys, we have the sweatiest...
There, I know where to cut.
We have the sweatiest of hands and feet, and it's frankly kind of a problem. It's glistening right now, frankly.
Mine glistens pretty much.
I look like...
I have hands with Shayna, it's just...
I have the hands of an amphibian. It's just a mucous membrane of hands.
Yeah, this one time I was like, we were driving and I put my hand up, like, because it's convertible, like, or out the window, and then it went like, shh, and it dried off my hand, and then she like grabbed it and she's like, whoa, it's dry. Yeah, like, and we've been dating for over a year, so it's like.
You have to put your hand to the window to dry your hand off.
Yeah, because it blows off.
Yeah, no, I get it, but the fact you have to literally
my hand's sweaty.
Yeah, no, but the fact you have to, how fast are you going in the car?
Like 120.
Yeah, okay, there's the kicker right there. The fact 120
kilometers, not miles.
Yeah, like any Americans who don't listen to this crap.
Aruj, come up with a question, go.
A question? You can't just spring this on me, man.
Yeah, the guy's been on Bumble for the past hour.
No, I have not.
Do you have Bumble?
No.
That's the one where girls have to ask, like, talk to you first, right?
Yeah, it's pretty depressing.
Oh my god, I need that. Like,
style?
I'm bad at talking to girls first, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's all literally like all they'll say is say hey.
And then you need to start.
I have like...
You still need to start the
I am so binary with girls. Like, I'm either like absolutely no hoper or like weirdly effortlessly charming, and I have no idea what differentiates the two.
I feel that,
it's not really carried.
Oh. Be yourself is all that you can do.
Oh, shut up,
That's...
guidance counselor.
No, that was Chris Cornell, an audio slave.
I'll tell you right now, being myself is the absolute worst thing I can do on a date. Let me tell you about my animes!
It's not necessarily like not being yourself. It's I think the big thing is like I'm not going to be the same way on a date as I'm going to be with you, like Michael or you guys.
That's because he has a complete lack of respect for me. But other than that,
whatever. Fuck that guy.
I've got a paper towel Hitler mustache.
So like I'm not going to be the same way. It's just I think a big thing is not lying. It's like, you know, if somebody's like, do you like that show? Like, if you haven't seen it, be like, no, I haven't seen it. What's up? Like, what's it about? Because that starts conversation. If you're like, yeah, I love that show. Dead. Conversation dead.
No, it depends on, like, how
I do that. It's just, I am really interested in stuff that, you know, most people aren't.
Yeah, well, you just kind of, like, you find things that they kind of are interested in.
I don't know.
If, you know, like, just fucking, like, Kool-Aiding man into my, into a room. Let's talk about Gene Wolfe science fiction! Oh, God!
High fives air, because no one else will high five you.
He is the absolute single best science fiction writer to ever live, and I will fight anyone who says otherwise.
Question. We need a question.
He is, though!
Do you have a question?
You two have to think of a question.
Why do I have to think of a question? I'm just
like,
a guess.
Just think of something like weirdly existential or like not existential at all.
You want an existential question?
No, or like whatever. Like we did one where it's like, what kind of dog do you think you would be? We asked what was.
How's that existential?
Last time, what did we ask?
What kind of animal?
What kind of animal? Do you like sand?
What is your opinion on it?
What is my purpose? Pass the butter.
That is all.
Oh, God.
Are you capable of thinking outside of popular culture?
I mean, everyone, I guess, is, but...
I think if you're not, I think that means you're basic. Is that the definition of basic?
Basic bitch, yeah.
Okay.
I know there's a word for the nerd version of basic bitch. You know, it's like, oh, I'm a nerd. It's Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Star Trek. I'm like, motherfucker.
No, that's just people just trying to pretend they're nerds.
Come to me when you play Nocturne.
Yeah, people are just gonna be like that. Rouge, question, come on.
Why do I have to come up with a question?
Because we've asked you 3 times now.
You guys have to guess. You gotta figure out something.
Holy crow.
I don't have one.
Just like think of a question.
It was a good run, guys.
I love the complete apathy of this.
This is sad. These
I don't even love it. I mean, I hate it.
These tea time boys are mad. I'm angry.
Grr.
Oh, you don't want to see Michael angry.
If you could have one celebrity on this podcast, knowing that you would have to, live with the fact that you had that celebrity on this podcast and likely would never
dead
have...
Dead or alive?
Yeah.
Like, are they dead and then come back for this podcast?
No, they live, and you have to live with the fact that you
No,
decided...
like, for example, could I have Robin Williams
Yes.
Like, you mean like...
But then Robin Williams would be alive,
right?
and you had to live with the fact that, oh god, I had Robin Williams, and this is the best I could do.
Well, okay, so this is entertainment personality, celebrity, not like historical figure. Like, we're not gonna get Joan of Arc here.
You can't even speak to us.
Can you speak medieval French very well?
Nani?
Wait a minute.
Okay, you know what I mean? Like, freaking Winston Churchill or something.
Fucking
like
anyone.
Oh, okay. Well, then... I'm gonna just go historical figures out of it, because then that would make us super sad. And I don't think this would be the best platform to inquire about all the wisdom.
Whatever, like an entertainment celebrity.
Yeah, entertainment celebrity. Okay, so
I was gonna say like Bill Patterson.
Who the heck is Bill Patterson?
What's
guy created Calvin Hobbes, isn't that his name?
Bill Watterson.
Watterson, damn it.
Watterson.
Fuck me. Bill Watterson.
How ignorant am I? Who's this guy?
Guy created Calvin and Hobbes.
Do you know the comics?
It's a comic book. It's like a comic strip
Dude, you've
series.
never read Calvin and Hobbes?
I don't read things. I don't know things. It's a miracle how
You
I'm on
probably
this thing.
know what they
Well,
look
you're an
like. Can you
engineer,
pull up an
alright.
image?
No.
Oh, thanks, bro.
So I'd love to have Bill Watterson on, because I think like I first of all, I'd love just to like talk to him like about like his work, and I think it'd be cool to have like not sort of like an exclusive, but like just a nice little thing where we.
He doesn't do like any media stuff.
Which is why it'd be crazy if we had him on. I think it'd be really cool just to have like that nice little talk thing going on.
I mean, if we're talking about like exposing someone who hasn't before, I mean Cormac McCarthy, because he is a famously very reclusive author, except I guess for the one time he actually decided to show up on Oprah, which I'm still not quite over. It's like, yes, I'll respect my interviews from the most esteemed literary journalists of all time. Now to show up on Oprah, I guess.
Please.
It's like, no, I won't. No, she won't ask me any kind of questions that'll shine a light on my work. It'll just be the most basic thing ever. Woo!
Well, yeah.
Well, because I'm still. Well, duh. That's what he says.
I don't know, maybe his wife got sick of sleeping.
Don't ask me about this. Don't ask me about this.
Yeah.
And so they ask you basic questions like, what's coming up with you? What's new with you? How do you feel about adaptations?
Honestly, I just think that he only took. Honestly, I think he only took Oprah because his wife was like sick of living in barns and eating beans or something. It's like, you take this opportunity, you son of a bitch. I've put up with your bullshit for too long.
Okay, sorry. There was a hair that was off of Rowan's face, and it looked like it was attached, but it was like super long, and I was like, whoa. I was really mesmerized.
Well, he's not even drunk.
Okay, so what celebrity would you have on?
Can fat people go skinny dipping?
Okay, no. Dumb
Yes.
question. Yes.
No.
No to the fact that your question was there. Yes to the actual question.
Was murdered in front of everyone. We plead guilty.
Why?
Because of this. Because this is the worst goddamn joke in the world.
Why are pizza boxes square when the pizzas are round?
Because if they're round, it'd be hard to get out. You dumbass.
But why?
You idiot! You absolute
There's
fucking
corners
moron.
so you can go underneath.
Okay, sure, but why aren't square?
Why don't you
when
answer the question we've been trying to ask?
No, because no one gets a square pizza.
No, like if you get a big pizza, they're square. If you got really big pizzas, they're square, but they come in square boxes as well.
Because if it's a round box, it still wouldn't be that good. Because you could only get the corner pieces.
It's probably really hard to manufacture. End of question.
Okay.
Yeah, why would you build specialty boxes just for...
Incidentally, if anyone out there for some reason decides to like draw us some for whatever, I know that there's a thing that when you draw people that you admire, you kind of like round out their features, you make them look like kind of cute and cartoony.
Okay, wait.
I want none of it.
Admire? You think anyone's gonna admire us?
I don't think
My point being is, when you draw me, I want you to like just play it up. I want a gunt. Like, I will not accept any fan art of me that does not have like just a straight up like belly sagging like over my crotch down to my motherfucking knees. Like, that is non-canon unless that it has that.
Actually, you should draw him like Gluttony, but instead of like a mouth in the middle, just like...
My nipples should be super fucking hairy and nowhere else.
Like, instead of like, you know, Gluttony, like from Full Metal Alchemist, like instead of like a mouth, it's just like a vagina. Draw that. That's a gun.
What?
Gun.
No, it's when you're so fat that your fat kind of obscures your genitals. That's what a gunt is.
You're a gun.
Oh, stop.
You guys never said what celebrity you bring on.
Well, because this guy's being a friggin' punk and asking if fat people in skinny dip. And he goes on some pizza box. Dude, who cares? It's not the point of this.
Kim K.
You bring Kim Kardashian, really?
Why not? She's quite smart.
Oh,
She's quite intelligent.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, all right.
I mean, if we have to choose that, I'd probably take Kesha because she just seems like a lovely girl, and it's And I can't really fault anyone who's like, yeah, I'll, totally play this game to make a ton of money. I can't fault someone for doing that.
I'd bring in Nicki Minaj then. Because I think it'd be really interesting to talk to her about, like, females, like, especially, like, in, like, rapping. Females. And, like more of, like, a hip-hop thing, and, like, how, like, what's she doing, what's she trying to do. Because if you think about it, back in the 90s, there was a lot of them, like Missy Elliott and stuff. And then it just, like, it didn't die out, but it just kind of, like, less happened. And I feel like there are producers out there that kind of make Nicki Minaj kind of sing, because she's, like, quote-unquote female, And
quote-unquote female?
Well, I mean, like, she is a female, thus she must sing at least some point.
It's such a pet peeve of mine when people say females. Like, it just sounds like the fucking Ferengi from Star Trek,
I was doing it in a way because, like, it's like a producer speak. Like, she should be so urban, Like, she is a female, thus she must sing,
You don't have to deal with that bullshit. Just call her a black woman. Like...
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying a producer does this. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that, like, I feel like there, at least in some points, her producers are kind of, like, angling her towards singing because she is female.
Okay.
And so when I said the female, it's not I think that. It's, like, the producer way of, like, you are a female, you must sing sort of thing. Right?
Mostly I just like female more as, like, an adjective than a noun. For some reason, using female as a noun just kind of sets my teeth on edge. It just feels off.
Just pronounce it female. That'll
I'm man.
I'm a female.
Elon Musk.
Okay, you can't answer the question, but okay.
No, I changed my answer.
No, Aruj, we can't have Elon Musk on because we need you to talk, and we can't do that with your mouth occupied.
Oh, Elon. What about you?
The first thing I thought of when you asked that was, like, Betty White, because she's freaking cool. And she has a wealth of knowledge from entertainment and everything for all her years of, like, doing comedy, and she's still pretty freaking sharp as a tack. We all seen elderly people who, like, unfortunately, like, suffer from some degree of mental illness.
Oh yeah, Betty White is the best.
Yeah, so she'd be up there, but like, there's so many others that it's just, I think with her you can just have, like, a conversation about anything and you'd have a good time. Game of Thrones fans, I'm a fan of Emilia Clarke, not for her, like, body of work, no offense. But because I'm not really familiar with it, but I've just seen her in interviews. She seems really, really cool, like charming.
Emma
Matthew McConaughey. You gotta have Matthew McConaughey.
Chris Evans.
Yeah, Chris Evans, Chris Pratt.
I wouldn't say anything. I just stare into his eyes the whole time as he spoke. He's like, "What do you think, Stuart?" And I'm like,
I think Pratt would actually be the best because I had a job.
Channing Tatum, like I just like. Yes, Channing, I know the viewers can see this, but if you could just, like, I know you're funny, but if you could also be funny shirtless, this would be great for me.
It's just basically turning just like, who would you have on the show to have gay sex with? Channing Tatum.
Okay, well, another person actually that would be really good for me. Oh my god,
it's illegal to be that talented and that funny and that beautiful. Just, how is Channing Tatum a real man?
Also, what about Chris Hemsworth? Chris Hemsworth, freaking Thor.
Fucking Chris Evans. Have you seen that thing in like fucking Civil War? Like, you know that bit in Civil War where he's like holding onto the helicopter, the helipad. He wanted to do it shirtless, but his producers are like, no. And this is why Jesus hasn't returned to us. This one precise reason.
I was gonna say like also Chris Pratt because I actually met a guy who I was a canvasser and he also worked as a guy who ended up running a sort of canvassing thing as well, and he's had a bunch of interviews. Like, hilarious interviews about, like, him having a chant about this. In the mornings, you would go in to pump yourself up because you go door to door and basically get shut down for the rest of the day. And you have to pump yourself up if you're confident. And he had a job like that, and he actually ended up running an office. And I worked in an office similar to that, and I met a guy who worked with his boss, or had a similar company, or could have been his boss, or was his boss, in California at that time.
Get to the point.
So I can relate to Chris Pratt, and we would have a discussion about that kind of lifestyle.
So you're saying that
job.
You're like, I know Chris Pratt basically.
No, I don't know him, but I have something to relate to a celebrity.
You know somebody who knows Chris Pratt.
You know somebody who's
I'm
Chris
confused.
Pratt's boss.
I met somebody who could have been Chris Pratt's boss.
Who could have been.
Okay, my god.
Okay, you know what? Screw you guys. Everybody else I said, this is bullcrap.
Let's play Street Fighter.
Let's not. Let me get the hell out of here. That's what.
This episode really fell to hell at the last, like, half hour or so. I'm just gonna say it.
I don't think it was so bad. It was nice. Talked about our awkwardness and how about Mikey loves Betty White. And
to be fair, Betty White's a national treasure.
Oh, holy crap. You see, last episode ever. Done.